Hey guys, I'm just gonna go over my qtile config real quick and show you guys a few things I've added. It's mostly the default config, but I just want to show you guys it's not too hard to just build off of that and make it your own. And also, you're configuring in a programming language, so you can do some stuff that a programming language would do in your window manager. So yeah, I'm gonna skip over all the stuff that's default and just show the stuff I've added. So here, this first line, I have a little script that just basically imports a YAML file and sets it to this colors item. So I'm importing that, and I can access those colors later when I'm theming the environment. And I am using the Capuchin color scheme on pretty much everything. It's my favorite color scheme. You can see it in my terminal and NeoVim and my Obsidian window over here. So yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. The next thing you can see is I set my mod key to the super key or the Windows key or the Mac key, whatever you want to call it. And my terminal I use is Kitty. I was using Alacrity for a while, and I switched for some specific reason that I don't remember exactly at this moment, but Kitty had some feature that Alacrity didn't. This is my auto start script, which I think might be default running this, but basically I'm just running this auto start.sh, which starts, you know what, let me just show you that right now. It just runs my NVIDIA settings, PyCom, sets my PyCom, which is my compositor, which, manages how these windows look a lot of times, like the rounded corners and stuff like that you do with PyCom. So it sets that config and runs PyCom. Dunst is the notification manager. So if I get a desktop notification, it'll pop up. And then FEH sets my background, which is a Capuchin themed background also. And then I run a Polkit authentication agent. And that's the thing that'll pop up and ask for your password. Oh, and a Conky you can't see, but I'm running that on my other screen, and I'm setting the correct configuration for that as well. Yeah, back to the config. The next thing I added is just a few custom keybinds. You can see I have this right here. This is my array or my list of keys, and anything in here will be added to your keys. So the ones above this comment NP are all the default ones. So I'm not going to go over those too much, but here's how you might want to add another one. You would just say key mod, which is my mod key, R, so the letter R, and that's what that's going to do is spawn the Brophy runner. And that's what this is right here. Again, Capuchin themed, of course. So that's how you might do that. I also have this mod E. I used to use Emacs a lot. I don't so much anymore. And in my auto start, I had the Emacs server auto started, so I can just pop up Emacs client with mod E. E still works, but I don't. My config got messed up, so I don't use Emacs anymore so much. I do want to get back into it, but yeah. Anyways, I also have mod F to spawn to WaterFox. I was using Firefox and I switched to WaterFox, but I did mod F for Firefox and I just kept it. And then mod T is my file manager, Thunar. And so yeah, that's just some quick examples of adding your own key bindings, whatever makes sense to you. The next thing here I have is my widget defaults. So this is what I'm doing here is I'm setting a dictionary or a hash map. It's essentially the same thing in Python to these variables. So the key is font and the value is JetBrains Mono Nerd font. So that's the font that all my, in the bar, you see all this font is JetBrains Mono Nerd font. The nerd font lets me use different icons like this and like these little icons here. Setting my font size, padding, and the foreground color. So this is the first time we're seeing that color thing come into play. I imported these colors from a script. And all this script does is it imports the colors YAML file. So that is here. And this is just the Capuchin colors YAML file I pulled right from their GitHub, and it lets me access these colors by these parameters here rather than typing out, uh, this X value. I found it a little easier. I was trying to come up with a way to theme qtile a little easier and universally. Never quite finished working on that, but it works for my setup, and you can do this however you want, but this allows me to, again, just import that, and then back to my config. Then I can say, colors accessing the primary, and then text, for example, is the foreground for this first, or for the default. The foreground color for by default is this. And then extensions, I just use the same defaults. So going to my bar defaults here, mostly the same thing. I set the background color here and give it some margins, a border width, a border color, and a little bit, or sorry, no opacity. And I set the size. Here I have two screens, so I have a list of my two screens here. So if I go like this, you can see this is both, and then that maybe isn't so helpful, but if you see here, I'm encompassing this first screen, which has this bottom bar. And again, I'm using a couple things here. I have this little arch logo, and I'm setting the background color here to be the primary background color. So that's what you're seeing right there. And it's just a little picture, that's all. The current layout is just this saying tile, because you can change layouts, which means how your windows are tiled. So if I press mod tab, which is my key binding, I'm now on the zoomy tiling, and that just gives you one main screen and the rest are up in this corner. If I want to switch between them, I can either mouse over them, or I can do mod H and J, or sorry, J, K, and switch around that way. Now I have this group box, which is just my windows, and then I have my window name. I have this tray, and then I have a couple other things over here. You can't see this Empress 2 widget, but if I go ahead and open Spotify, you'll see I have some information about the song that's playing right there. And then I have my CPU information, just a load and a frequency in the bottom right, and a clock with some formatting strings. All this information, how to do that, is fairly clearly laid out in the documentation. And then I have this text box, and I add this mouse callback that runs the power menu. That stopped working a while ago, so that is not working right now. I do need to fix that. But what that does is, if I click that, I would get a menu that would say shut down, log out, reboot, etc. And then now I'm done with my widgets, and I'm just setting the background and foreground color, given a bar size that I already defined before, and then ** bar defaults just spreads out that dictionary I have to feed it into this bar function right here. So that's all that's doing. Here's my second screen. You guys can't see this, but I have this widget that will check for updates, and it'll say updates 1 right now, for example, and has a color which is red if I do have updates. Otherwise, it's no updates, and it checks every so often. And then I can click it, and it runs this command, which is my update command for my system. It'll do. You could set that to whatever you want. I have a crypto ticker. I used to be very much into Bitcoin, not so much anymore. Then I just have a spacer, a volume widget that I can mute really quickly by just clicking it, or opening the Pavu control app. And then I also have my weather for my location. I have removed my location from here, but that's it. So let's see, did I miss anything here? Custom keybinds, widgets, some of the color stuff I talked about, and then the update checker and the weather app. That's pretty much it. So if you just want to get something simple started for your config, it is really not too difficult, and I highly recommend just jumping in and trying it out. So yeah, hope that was helpful, and let me know if you guys have any questions.